Greetings and salutations. Welcome, I am Karen Russmore and this is my stream of Pathfinder Kingmaker session 64. Had to double check over there on what number we're up to. We'll get to the end of this one day. Maybe not one day soon, but one day. I think I'm over the hump. I think, I don't want to say this too loudly because then the game will hear me and suddenly get longer. I think that I'm slowly getting there. And we're over the hump. And eventually, we'll come tumbling down the other side and then the game will finish. It's been a long journey. I'm just killing time while it loads up in the background. There we go. Alrighty then. Can't remember what I was doing as usual, so let's hit the play button. But yeah, it's been a long journey. And time consuming. But we're getting there. Slowly getting there. How's everybody doing in chat anyway? Right, I was here in this cave called the Menagerie because oh yeah, find a way to deal with the bandits. Bandits are raiding our provinces along the Pataxian border. They must be stopped. That's kingdom job. Run away from, I just need to wait. That I need to be able to get into Patax. Hey Josh, yeah, I'm pretty good. A bit tired, but at the same token, you know, I'm a bit tired, but I'm never not tired. Everything's going okay. I'm sort of like trying to remember what I was doing. You troll snout, stay inside the circle. Pah! What does he care if he loses a few toes, though? He'll grow new ones. Yeah, stand where you want, no worries. Well, where we throw this batch? No idea what the rest of it said. But something to do with being in that circle and getting teleported somewhere. Near Zottenroppel. How many times must I say, don't bother me when the wizard turns to you and cries out in surprise. It's none of the nerd Zottenroppel, the prank-loving participant in the inconsequent debates. Ah, here you are, Chiron. I've been waiting for you for some time. Ivaretti was afraid you would find us immediately. But obviously he overestimated your abilities. Oh, a familiar face. Why, where are your frog brothers? Are they going to jump out from around the corner? Are you the one sending monsters into my land? Who else? The great and terrible Nerd Zottenroppel, the world-famous wizard and master of teleportation. I like playing with you very much, Chiron. Without you here, the inconsequent debates would have been mortally boring. Mortally boring, eh? Nicely put, eh? Why did you agree to work for Ivaretti? Oh, I don't care about your Ivaretti, that lewd snot rag. But you can't argue with the bleaching. You'd turn to anyone when your hair starts to lose colour and the skin fade and wrinkle. But just look at what he helped me build here. Even you must appreciate it. Find a system of underground caves and clear it of all critters. Create a gigantic teleportation circle capable of transporting whole hordes of monsters. Breed and tame huge uncontrollable beasts. Then hurl them wherever you wish. Hurl them into naked guards in the bathhouse, into the bed of a merchant cabal, to your privy even, or to the rooftop. And then watch them try to get down from there through a magical ball. Or better yet, drop them in a lake. Think of the splash. What could you possibly know about the bleaching half-orc? You would never underestimate this quiet, crawling terror. I don't want to fight with you. Let's make a deal. Hello. Are you a king or a haggler? Guards, to me! Release the wyverns! I mean, all things considering, going through the bleaching is deadly. So to avoid this, you decided to try to attack me. It's just going to get you killed all the sooner. It's hot coffee.
Let us strike as one.
Still not entirely sure what I'm up to, but I'm guessing killing these bad guys will do for now. Tristan, move up. I accidentally moved you a tiny amount too far. So go up to there.
Consider me provoked.
Start getting some acid damage in. Surprise! That was all the way back there. See, why didn't you want to just murder the thing behind you where it was very easy to find?
Keep yourself open.
See, now you've made a mistake. And have died. Oof. It's a bit rough.
Serves you right.
Get rid of that one first.
Ray, be generous to them, for I am not.
Octavia, throw some poison on that thing. Sneak attack's not too big of an issue. It's more the fact that I don't want them regenerating. I have no idea what mindfog is. Mindfog produces a bank of thin mist that weakens the mental resistances of those creatures. Those caught in it. Creatures in the mindfog take a -10 penalty to wisdom checks and will saves. A creature that successfully hits against the fog is not affected and need not make further saves even if it remains in the fog. Affected creatures take the penalty as long as they remain in the fog and for 2d6 rounds thereafter.
This should do it.
I mean, nearly killed that thing in a shot. Spread the love. I would like you to run over there and bash his head in. Or you could not.
This is for you!
And then it exploded. Euphoric tranquility. Okay. Seems to planned something with the bards from his academy in a village called Littletown. I need to find Littletown. That seems to be important. Skin them, loot them, and loot this guy. One of the ways I like build a mighty constitution +2 at this stage of the game. It's just vendor trash. Right, I'm guessing I'm just about done here.
Something bothering you?
Yes, somebody is poisoned, or was poisoned. Voila! You feel better. Fighting the Bleaching Practical Guidance by Nguisi Nordiquai. Quayani. The youth shall leave their malady behind. The bleaching does not cling to people until they mature. What is the colour of your skin? Apple cheeked yesterday, but they're deathly pale today. That's an alarming sign. Closely monitor the condition of your skin, hair, and eyes. Never be bored. Curiosity is your best protection. Have a finger in every pie. Don't break your neck. Be prepared to stand up for yourself or run for your life when you venture out to seek adventure. Never give up. There's a remedy for the bleaching, and it isn't pills, but a new wardrobe or a new lover can stop the disease, and a proper journey can prevent the onset for a long time. You are not alone. Find yourself some soulmates. They might just give you a new lease of life. And a longsword called the Unbound Blade. +4 longsword with shot quality for 1d6 electricity. Not bad. It's not great at this stage, but not bad.
All according to plan.
Surprise!
Epic pose. I need inspiration.
If you got the range, no, you do not. Oh no, you do. Ah, you did a swift action.
Repent!
Kaboom! Not quite as deadly as I would have hoped. Oh, more troll guards coming in.
You deserved it.
So close. Did not mean to run up and hit you, but it worked. A greater invisibility. Yay.
You forced my hand.
Should have had him shoot the Smith over, sir. He seems to have a good job at hitting things that he can't see. Unlike everybody else on the planet. I mean, that's just overkill. I'm not even sure if they'd stack.
Any last wishes? I'll fight if I have to.
Really? There we go. Alright, Tristan, hit the the invisible guy. See? Knew he could do it. Cloak of Resistance, Warhammer +1, Strength 4, Intelligence. Nothing particularly. I cannot click on the right places today. Noteworthy, but useful all the same. Steel wind, thundercrack, and a piece of sky metal. That is a sigh. Greater speed. When making a full attack, the wielder of a speed weapon makes 2 extra attacks with it. The attacks use the wielder's full base attack bonus plus any modifiers appropriate to the situation. This benefit is not cumulative with similar effects such as a haste spell. And a scimitar. Don't you use a scimitar? You do. Ta-da. You've got a very nice sword. Not that you'll ever use it. Magical, so leaving them behind. Alright, I think it is time for me to get out of here. Trying to remember what else we could have asked them for, the eldest for the inconsequence debates. Oh, something's going on in my kingdom. Weak Pitaxian influence. Pitaxian agitators are trying to lure locals away from the stolen lands, promising a golden age under Idaretti's rule. Several have already left and the rest are considering the proposal. Your kingdom will fall soon. Will soon fall. To avoid that, you have to advance the main plot and complete the following quest: War with the River Kings. That does not sound pleasant. Lindsay, go stop that from happening. I have a feeling that maybe I should have saved some more of my crisis points for this. Crisis. Mysterious Shrine, wasn't that? Yeah, Mysterious Shrine, Mysterious. There was a couple of things. 1, 2, and 3. See what's happening on at the Wicked Hill.
May we have a moment of respite?
Not right now, Tristan. We're trying to avoid my kingdom from collapsing into dust. Because of that fool Liveretti. Charon cultists. I'm pretty sure I bumped into these people elsewhere. Amateurs who taught you to hold the ritual like this. I mean, delay until after somebody who's bigger and tougher than you. Has concealment. Great stuff. Conceal this. Oh, wow. That's a scary number of levels just to lose.
Onwards.
We need to mate with the murder.
A calculated risk.
I'm pretty sure I've got some spells for something. Hold monster. Saving throw failed. Make with the murder. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile using that or just killing it because it is held in place. course, if it manages to break that hold. Penalty. This weapon is a living bane sigh. If the wielder has the Inquisitor Judgment class ability, allow them to use it one additional time per day. This bane weapon excels against certain foes. Against a designated foe, the weapon's enhancement bonus is +2 better than its actual bonus. It also deals an extra 2d6 points of damage against such foes. Against the living, that's pretty powerful. It's just about everything that's not undead. I mean, I've got nobody who uses a sai, but still. Page from the Cultist Diary. What I won't do for you, the unparalleled Pax Grumetra, pretending to be a cultist of Charon just to get them to help me. To be honest, all I know about the deity is his symbol, a skull with coins covering the eye sockets. I made the logical assumption that it was somehow related to death and started mumbling something about death and fate at the Coven meeting, and they just took me for one of their own. 3 years studying at the Academy of Arts, can't take that away. Even if most of my time is spent there was more revelry than studying. Yeah, the side would be a great one for Jane Fall. She specializes it. I mean, not that she's going to hit herself with it, but, you know, if somebody was to actually hit her with it, it wouldn't get the bonus. And that's a hell of a bonus against the living. You know, I could understand if it was humanoids, beasts, that kind of thing. Very broad general subject of what might be alive. But to just go, nah, the living, that'll do, just seems very wow. Unfortunately, Charon's followers aren't really much help. Daemons serve their deity, but these dumb cultists don't know how to make the daemons obey their summoner. And I can't just tell them a demon stole my soul. A demon stole the soul of my favourite writer, and I need to get it back, or I'll never know who the murderer in the last issue of Shadows of Absalom was. I have constantly improvised and make up things as I go, but at least I'm good at that. Melted pliers with the Technic League brand. Alright.
That is not far.
I'm guessing that thing's gonna fall down dead eventually when the spell wears off. Right. Note to self. Anything that looks quite like that next time you cast Death Ward before running in there. In the meantime, need to... It also dispels temporary negative levels at one permanent negative level. I think they're temporary. Well, at least I hope they're temporary. There's 5 of them. There we go. 3 hits from that thing and somebody could be dead.
I'm hungry. When we stop?
Around about now.
Wars are fought between states, but it's the common people who suffer. The world isn't fair.
And what's the answer? To overthrow the rulers and destroy the states? Complete anarchy? Do you really think that would mean fewer wars?
There's someone on the road. Get ready. I can't just leave. Goblin merchant. A goblin merchant. As you come closer, the goblin gives a wide grin and waves at you. A ramshackle cart behind him is sagging under the weight of all the junk within. Amidst the trash, however, you notice the glinting of gold and what seems to be hints of fine cloth. It seems like only the owner of the cart can sort through this mess. Hail, travellers! Welcome to Chork's Cart Around shop. I'll be having all pokers, glinters, clovers. Choose what you like if you have the money. Chork appraises you with greedy eyes, as if sizing up how much coin you have on you. I be going new dungeon, have new goods. I sell, you buy. Let me see your wares. Does he actually? No, he's not trying to sell my throne here. Pretty sure I have met him though. You can actually though take some of this junk. Don't really need a lot of these things as much as they're nice. What's this? +2. This. I'm gonna get rid of all that wyvern meat. I'm pretty sure there's a recipe for it, but at the same token, it's like it's 19 pounds of meat. But I'm really not eating. Hey, Chork, we've already met. Remember me? Chork looks you up and down with indifferent expression. Your adventures be all the same. Dirty, skinny. Why should I remember your kind? But if you be buying stuff, Chork thinks for a moment, then shakes his head sadly, as if confirming his memory of you is lost. Hey, this is my throne. Eh? Eh? This charity? It be good charity. This charity, not charity. This charity be good charity. Sturdy. Ornamented on sides, soft eat, fine back. I be giving it off for 100 money. You won't be regretting it. Why are you staring at me like that? Is that a deal stare? How did you manage to get it in the first place? Look, what I have. The goblin digs out a wand from the depths of his cart. It be doing whoosh and doors go open. I entering, taking all good stuff and leaving. Chork hastily took the wand back. They be having some other whoosh thingies, but I not show them to you. They are mine and not for sale. Are you crazy? This is my royal throne. I demand the gold. How can you demand gold for which is rightfully mine? Chubbuck is still trying to wrap his head around what you just said. That true? He scratches his ears. Right. Maybe asking too little. Maybe it'd be worth 200 money. Don't think he quite got where I was going with. You will return my throne this instant before I hang you from the nearest tree. Joek screeches and drops to his knees. Have mercy, adventurer. I be mistaken. I never do it again. Churwork wrings his hands. You want bribe? I be giving you bribe. Many valuables I be giving you. And take Cherry back. Just don't hit me no more. I didn't hit you in the first place. I mean, that doesn't really seem to have solved anything.
As it should be.
Shame we didn't actually get a proper merchant out of that. I'm sick of meeting that skeletal merchant along the road. And don't get me wrong, the skeletal merchant is not too bad, but it seems as though he's the only person, other than bad guys, you meet on the road. Little town, there it is. Why has it got two thing? One of them disappeared. Eliminate the instigators.
Here I am. See.
Surprise! I have arrived. Maybe I shouldn't have quite gone all out on them.
You can't stop me!
There's a teeny weeny little bit of a waste. Pamphlet printed on cheap paper. A discourse by Trebicant of Cordelon on Trueborn versus self-proclaimed rulers, or the Pataxian Lion and the Flea of Dunwanna Barony. I'm a flea? Shall I compare them to a lion and a flea? The former is strong, noble, and wise, his temper calm, and his manner unhurried, for he is aware of his own grandeur. But one shouldn't stand in his way. His mere roar still instills awe, and one blow from a clawed paw might smite someone. Nature itself placed a crown upon his brow, urging other nations to surrender. The other brings to mind a bug who can't see. I was reading this. Who can't see beyond its nose. A flea queen, having spent some time in the court of a monkey ruling in Restov, rubbed against her skin and tasted her blood. She imagines herself worthy of a crown because her belly is full of that which flows in the vein of kings. And the monkey, who herself rules due to a misunderstanding, granted her a title, appointing her owner a patch of uninhabited wasteland. So that's what they all think of me, hey? Right, so these people are over here. Didn't mean to press that button. Sing us a song, Lindsay. These might actually be difficult to hit with tower shields and whatnot. Probably not, but... Surprise! Terrible things are about to occur. Oh wow, you're not as difficult as I thought to hit. Well, that was just rude. Right, if you want to move back over here. We can all wait over here until they manage to figure out a way out. Road.
This is where I step in.
wait this out a little while. How long has this gone for? 1 round a level, so it shouldn't be too many rounds. Interesting. Don't know what you're saying hey for, I'm not gonna move. Why would I move? Do I look stupid? Oh, you managed to save. Yeah. Good for you.
Serves you right.
These guys are well funded. Not entirely sure if I'm supposed to pick all of these up, but I'm gonna pick all of them up. Because they are downright slanderous.
In due time.
Alright, no cheap tricks this time. Wow, he's busy to get out of there.
So it's come to this.
I don't like the idea of that guy getting away. God damn it, Octavia. The number of times where she's missed on a 2. Sing a song.
You deserved it. Leaving you out of our story.
Very final there, Lindsay. It's not, you're not welcome in the story anymore. Where are you going?
So, Taya.
This will hurt. Let's try this way.
Did he actually manage to flee? God dang it. He got away.
Stay behind me!
Strike worth a legend.
They go down!
Didn't need to do that. I mean, that guy pretty much disintegrated. Don't know where his corpse went.
Consider me provoked.
Any last wishes?
This is for you.
Do 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 do. Regret your
This is
terrible
where I
life
stop.
choices. Don't know, taxing water. Amory is not on form today. This so she'll just shoot this crossbow straight through the building.
This should do it.
Serves you right.
Okay, let me show you how it's done. God dang it.
You deserved it.
Hey, can someone help me?
You'll be fine. Still got 4 hit points, 5 hit points. God dang it. Oh, you actually managed to hit her. Good for you.
So tired.
Oh.
A calculated risk.
Any last wishes?
All according to plan.
Into a tavern. It seems no one noticed your entrance over the bustling noise of a tavern. A young half-elf with long, slicked-back hair and a delicately curled mustache and beard is making a solemn speech. He drawls and flourishes with his hands, and his pretentious red face makes it obvious he's enjoying everyone's attention. Laughter and shouts of approval can be heard from the main table. Many other guests aren't participating in the gatories, however. Some are yawning, while others aren't even listening to the speaker as they focus on their meals. But what's this? Your friend Ivar sits with a long face, picking at a hulk of meat with a fork. The speaker raises his voice once more, and Ivar winces. Who's Ivar? So let's raise our cups, my brothers in arms and drinking comrades. Here's to the most enlightened monarch of our times, who brought prosperity and culture to Pitax. That skillful commander, famous the world over for his military genius. To the ladies' men who broke so many hearts with his humble charm and aloof attitude. To that patron of the arts, that philanthropist, whose generosity is matched only by his wisdom and taste. In short, here's to Ivereti. A chorus of voices repeat the toast. Many drink upon, but far from everyone. What a farce! His melodramatic eulogies are nauseating. Shh, he'll hear you and make a scene just like last time. Finally, after emptying his glass, the half-elf notices you. Good gods! Look, my brothers and sisters, look at who it is. Is that not Chiron himself? Did you come here to dirty your boots and tattered hand-me-downs to spoil our feast with that gloomy, hungry look? Tell you what, if you abdicate the throne and swear allegiance to Pitax, I'll find a bone to throw you. Some of the dinner guests roar with laughter while others look at you with interest, maybe even hope. Everyone stops talking and watches you. Valerie is pale, and her silence could melt iron. The squeal of metal on metal indicates that she must be gripping her weapon. But she isn't rushing to draw it. A familiar face. Ivar, it's been a long time. How are you? Better now you're here. It's nice to see an honest face. I didn't realize just how tired I'd grown of Vivaretti and his hangers-on. And you've become a famous king glorified in legends, just as I foretold. Still have no idea who this Ivar is. Well, perhaps there'd be room for that legend for me? Traitor, what else would you expect from a changeling? Though, beasts know no loyalty. Deplorable, Trebuchet, the things you'll say to get a reaction. See, I'm tempted to go down this route. Or at least try. Free singers and poets of Pitax, how much longer will you be oppressed by Ivaretti, who gags all discontent, lets only his favourites perform, and chokes art while pretending to be a patron? Stand beside me and fight, not for me, but for freedom. You should have thought twice before dragging my name through the mud. None of you leave here alive. Trebuchet, enough with your pretentious bravado. You know what will happen if you don't surrender peaceably. You'll have a chance to prevent bloodshed if you just lay down your weapons. His weapons is wit, and I must match him with wit. Therefore, free singers and poets of Pitax, how much longer must you be oppressed by Ivaretti, who gags all discontent, lets only his favourites perform, and chokes art while pretending to be a patron? Stand beside me and fight, not for me, but for freedom. A soft murmur that began running through the hall during your speech swells to a roar. I won't write to dictation any longer. Down with Ivaretti. Long live Chiron. What? Do you hear that? Pygmies and Igamies complain that they're not allowed to slander a giant among men, our protector Ivaretti. My spirit seethes, friends. Let's show this vile traitor the bright flame held in our loyal hearts. I mean, really? So some of the bards joined me, but not many of them, which is such a shame, because I've got Fireball.
This will hurt.
Surprise!
Break a sweat.
Do not falter!
I'm sure I've got something that resembles a fireball in here. Oh no, it's not you, it's the other one, isn't it? Oh, chain lightning it is. Surprise! See, they've all moved around a lot and I don't like it. Because I don't know how tough these bards are. Or whether they're considered friend or foe. Oh well. Just go with the slightly cleaner ones. They've got it in for Amory, don't they? Surprise! Some of these guys are on my side. Boo. God dang it.
Let's try this way.
I think I'm starting to remember who Ivar is. Hello again, Chiron. Ivar, human once more, catches his breath. I can't say your appearance was unexpected, but it was certainly impressive. I didn't expect to see you again. What brought you here? Long story short, after we parted ways at Lake Silverstep, I went seeking a way to control my curse. Both my curses, really. My drivel could have also been considered a curse of sorts, or maybe just a dangerous gift. Well, I failed to oust the beast from inside me, but I thought I could try to at least do something of use with my tales. So I enrolled in Pitax's Academy of Grand Arts. I thought that it would be a suitable place to learn to control my words. And it was, to an extent. But I also saw how words could be weapons. My family was killed due to my stupidity and a deadly accident. The bards in Pitax, and especially here in Littletown, are learning to direct their skills towards murder and manipulation, and I'm afraid they really seem to know what they're doing. Oh, Ivar, you should have talked to us. The Academy is the last place you should have tried to learn what you needed. I mean, there's a few good courses and teachers there. Lady Bellavara, for example. But generally, it's a horrid place, really. What's happened here in Littletown? All kinds of sordid things. At first, they wouldn't tell us where we were being sent. But once we were there, things began in earnest. There were lectures, general meetings, we wrote pamphlets and songs. Whatever the topic was, love or war didn't matter, as long as at least one of the lines was used to smear you, Chiron. I quickly realized what was going on, but decided to stay anyway. I figured sooner or later the Ardent King would show up, and I'd get a chance to thank him for sparing my life and teaching me a valuable lesson. You're still a werewolf, and so how do you live with that? The priests I consulted about lifting the curse couldn't help me. Maybe it was because I'm not ready to forgive myself. Not yet, but something has changed. Ivar rubs the bridge of his nose pensively. I didn't hide who I was from the Academy bards. They weren't afraid of me. They didn't like me very much, but they weren't afraid. To them, my abilities to assume an animal appearance seemed like any other kind of natural gift, dangerous though it may be. Not so different from the gift of magic to them. Once I began thinking about it, I realized that now I didn't have to lie and hide. It became much easier for me to control my transformations. I know who I am. I know I can bring death and misery. But I can handle it, and maybe I can help those in need. It was an interesting lesson. What will you do next? Travel? The further the better. My debt to you is paid, but now Ivaretti's people will have cause to wish me dead. The world is huge and full of new discoveries to be made. I'll find my own way. Thank you for your help. Farewell. Maybe we'll meet again sometime. Farewell to you as well, my king. May your legend continue. Now I remember Ivar. Right, dead bodies, get to the looting. Chain shirt +3, might not be too bad. Everything else, not so great. There's a one bandit bard and a bard. Ooh, excuse me. Right, I do believe I may have sorted this place out. Find the propagandaists. Oppose the influence of attacks. Find a way to deal with the bandits. I mean, I need to come find where the bleeding coming from first.
Follow my lead.
How many of them pamphlets I picked up? 125. I think I might have looted everything at some point, which I didn't intend to do. Oh, this is going to make a whole world of difference when it comes to the weight. But still, it's really not worth hauling this around. You don't wear armor. You wear armor. What are you wearing? Reaper's vest. +3 studded leather armor grants its wearer an additional +3 dodge bonus to AC while against shaken opponent attacks. Yeah. And the assassin's chain shirt is better. It's not enough people who are shaken. Just in case we get met on the road. There we go.
In due time.
One last quick glimpse. I've usually missed something. Nope. I think I need to go back to the border and see what's what. See if there's anything along this border. So let's pop out, deal with this kingdom thing, whatever it happens to be. In ransoming gold or iron, there are numerous barbarian kingdoms prisons, among them participants in failed raids and members of defeated gangs. A group of Khelids have arrived in the region, friends and family of the prisoners, here to offer ransom, gold, iron or other services. Tristan, go deal with that. The Last Wall Cavalry. A light-fingered administrator in Lastwall is prepared to sell a herd of excellent war beasts, but not through official channels. Can the minister make such a deal? According to his own words, the werewolf Ivar has learned to control this curse. This might be worth looking into. The thing is, with all the random events going on, I'm not entirely sure I want to go devoting people to long duration things.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
Guests from Thornkeep. Success. The warden did his best to gain the support of the locals, and now they inform him of any suspicious new faces they see in the region. The bandits can no longer step through these lands and raid our neighbors. Stability +3.
Need to catch my breath.
Trolls can be killed with fire or acid, usually. Right, I wonder what's here. The map marker seems to suggest something.
That is not far.
Do you reckon they just got bored with trying to come up with new loot and just was on? Yeah. 3 flasks, 4 earrings, 5 earrings and some incense. That'll do. Save before we're going to the terrible, terrible place. It might take a while. The monkey, the bird. Get everybody back into order, because something terrible is going to happen. See? Told you. Lady of Shallows. Oh, that's a bit annoying. We put the sneak attack damage all on the cold. And so all of the damage was reduced to 0. For that. Still, didn't say anything about being immune to that, although, jeez.
This is where I step in.
And miss, apparently.
Bring it!
Yes, waste your entire turn. Tristan, let's have some scorching rays. She could do with being dead before she manages to bring that thing to life. I think she's already knocked at least one of us out. Two of us out. Lindsay, what do you got? What do you have? Oh, failed to overcome the spell resistances. God dang it. Well, that's not useful. Great, one works, so two will work. God dang it. There we go. If everybody else would like to wake up. Yoo-hoo, wakey wakey.
Here.
Sleep 20 seconds, 19 seconds. Sleeping creatures wake up after being wounded. I don't want to wound my own people. Loot the body. Rune covered ancient scrap. Scroll of divine power. Silver ring. Ah, we're awake. Oh, that was a bit of a pointless waste of time. Bartholomew key. And charges reaches 0. Okay. 10 more charges left. I think I've killed some others on that. I can't remember. Oh, this was a bit of a bust of an area.
I need to catch my breath.
Yes, I know you do. Nope,
May
don't really
we
want to go
have a moment of respite?
that way.
I tire.
Reaching the wooded island, we stopped to look around. The locals living around the lake fully believed the place was cursed. Day and night, coloured lights supposedly appeared around the island, and some brave souls would even watch them fly over the water. The local legend says that anyone who saw the lights would definitely disappear, if not that night, then within the month for sure. We didn't see any lights at all, though. The island seemed forlorn and completely uninteresting. Silent, gloomy pines looming over the grey, rocky shore. A narrow path disappeared into the woods. We decided to follow the path and explore the mysterious island. Whoever made the path clearly didn't use it often. We could barely make it out among the ferns. We had to walk single file along the path as branches had from the crowded bushes grabbed at our sleeves and backpack straps, only to hit the next person in line once we passed. The forest grew thicker and taller, and even darker. The air suddenly grew intensely humid as clouds of milky white, incredibly thick fog flowed up from the ground. And believe me, dear reader, when I say incredibly thick, we're not talking like how some innkeeper might talk up his soup. It became impossible to see past our noses, and it was like our ears had been stuffed with cotton. The air itself was becoming so dense it was like walking through water. We had to navigate by touch, and we could only move half as fast as we'd been going. Chiron, who'd been walking last, was forced to stop. With great difficulty, he could barely make out any muffled and worried voices ahead of his friends ahead. But something had to be done. What? Chiron decided to break through the fog and try to catch up to everyone. Chiron moved forward through the fog, but progress became more difficult with each step. He felt a sudden movement of air to the left before he flew forward, having been pushed hard in the back. But our brave leader's dexterity didn't fail him. Chiron kept his feet and turned sharply, managing to spot a shadow disappearing into the fog. The fog finally began to clear, and soon there was no trace of it. Chiron looked back, and his friends were nowhere to be seen. Up ahead, he could just make out a blinking, welcoming light. As Chiron approached the light source, it quickly became clear that the light was a bonfire. Soon, Chiron entered a brightly lit clearing and saw all of us. But why then didn't no one jump up to greet him or give him a welcoming yell or a hug or even offer a cup of hot tea? Why had everyone frozen in their seats, spoons lifted in the air? Why the deathly silence? Imagine Chiron's surprise when he finally saw why his appearance had caused such a strange reaction. It seemed he hadn't been missing at all. He'd been sitting with us all by the fire, watching his exact copy emerge from the forest. Yes, dear reader, just imagine it. 2 copies of the king met in the clearing, seemingly identical. But which of the 2 was real? The king sitting by the fire said, "How can there be any doubt? I'm the real king, of course. Devil knows just who walked out of the forest, and you're ready to believe them over me? So much for good friends. And what did the king who walked out of the forest answer? Why not tie us both up and interrogate us? You'll soon discover which of us is a doppelganger that way." A deafening silence hung in the air. One could hear the thoughts churning through our brains. And then the Chiron, sitting by the fire, laughed in a strange voice. He stood up and began rising into the air. The mask dropped, and we saw a short, pale man with blonde hair and parrot-like wings with bright feathers. We all went after him together, but Chiron held on to him most tightly. His hands gripped the Joker's wings in iron grip. An ear-piercing whistle sounded from all around us, and stones began raining on us from above. The impostor was aided by his winged kin, who grabbed him by the hands and began pulling him up. We didn't give up, but in the end we were overpowered. There were just too many, dear reader. They quickly reclaimed our prisoner from us. Soaring in the air and shaking their fists at us, they flew off. We sat a long time around the fire, laughing and chatting about how Chiron cleverly dispelled the illusion. When morning came, we looked around the rainbow-coloured feathers left behind by our uninvited guests. I noticed one of them had lost a valuable bracelet in the fight. We ended up with a trophy at least. Golden Vision. These bracelets grant the wearer a +1 bonus to illusion spell skull DC and +2 bonus to saving throws against illusion skull spells. Well, not the bandits that I wanted.
The Age of Destiny was truly fascinating.
My favorite age is the sausage.
Yes, Octavia. Sausages. Right. Getting a lot of mysterious shrines. Ah, okay. They're just oddly placed. Taxing assassins. Several influential citizens have been killed in their own homes. It seems that taxing assassins do not limit their targets to those on the battlefield. God damn it. Even if I wait for Jubileost, it's only going to be a 15% chance to succeed. When do I need to start this one by? The first of the month. I should have time for sending Jubileost. Can I just walk up to Patax and be sort of like, hey, here, listen you. If we're going to have a war, let's do it properly. Fisticuffs at dawn. This time, Magistrate Walsh didn't even bother greeting us. Meeting unfriendly gazes of Pataxian soldiers, we turned away. Very diplomatic. I think I pretty much wandered out of Pataxa. slowly reaching the point where it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? No, this isn't great. Everyone being fatigued. Say everyone. The main person of interest to be fatigued is Amory. There we go. I can remember names. Good Hope, Scroll of Cat's Grace, and a bunch of other
As it
things.
should be.
Now that's interesting. This isn't a shrine. Ah, red caps. Do me a favor, Tristan, and just fireball around about there. Found another one of them at least.
Onward!
Serves you right.
Surprise!
I'll fight if I have to.
And they've all gathered around this very concentrated little spot. Ah, screw it. Sorry, friends. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Stay behind me!
Right, time for
This
murder.
should do it.
Next.
Won't kill me!
I mean, they'll have a good try at it. Knocked herself out with her own sword.
A calculated risk. Ha!
Burn through some of these until Amory is feeling better. There we go. No point, no sense in saving them for later. It's about as later as it's going to get. Thundering Claw of the Bear God. +4 enhancement. Shock, Thundering, Wrath of the Bear God. The Thundering Claw of the Bear God is +4 shock, Thundering Scimitar. Any creature struck by the critical hit from the scimitar or is wielded as a natural attack becomes a target of lightning. As per Call Lightning spell, 5d6 damage, 24 DC reflex for half. All natural attacks from both the wielder of this scimitar and the wielder's animal companion have concussive and shock modifiers applied to them. If the wielder is wild-shaped into a bear, or if their animal companion is a bear, the sonic and electric damage from their attacks is increased by 1d10. I mean, that's a pretty sweet weapon. So it's got shock as bonus damage, thundering as bonus damage. Oh, increased to 1d10. So yeah, it'd be rather than a 1d6 and a sonic and 1d6 of electricity, it'd be a 1d10 of sonic, 1d10 of the electricity. It's pretty good. Not that I've got anybody who can really make use of it. It's more of a druid or a ranger thing. Right, so that's another place successfully written off. The Giggling Hill has got one of them 5x5 grids on it. I need to remember that.
I tire.
Okay, everybody's tired. Rest.
You've become a king. Now your feats will surely ring around the world. My congratulations. It is a well-deserved reward.
Nice lies, traitor. Congratulations, you somehow made it. No matter how hard I tried to help our enemies and get everyone killed.
It's a bit harsh, Anne-Marie. I'm pretty sure we're past this now. You know, even the goddess of redemption has forgiven Tristan. I'm pretty sure we can do it too. So let's see what's up with the kingdom. The hero's reward. One of the commanders has done a thing and deserves a reward. Great stuff. Doesn't really seem like a pressing issue right now. See, I can't think of anything else to do other than continue exploring Pitaxian borders. Or
True
protecting
warrior
the area.
fights in the open. Eurovedi attacks on the sly. This means he is afraid.
Right. He knows his troops won't hold up in a major battle.
Yeah, what'd you know? Amory and Valerie actually agreed on something. Avoid the random encounter. They spotted us. Poisonous primal manticore.
Let us strike as one!
This will
Time for the murder. Murder.
You can't stop me.
Sing us a song. Rage.
Do not falter!
One down.
Let's try this way.
Two down.
This should do it. Tear them apart!
One more.
A calculated risk.
And they're all dead. Off we go.
I need to catch my breath.
You'll be fine. Just go there.
Sir Tristram. Sounds like the name of a knight in a ballad.
Thank you, Valerie. But I could hardly be a knight. I don't like fighting, and even less do I like fighting for sport.
time we paid a visit to the storyteller and go on a trip where we've never ventured before. I mean, I've never ventured around here either. Here we go. Finally found the place that needs to be. Are you on a horse, or is that just a token? I think that's just a token. I mean, we might have horses for travelling around, but they never make an appearance as far as I'm aware. Also, hey J-Station, how's it going? Find and destroy the bandit camp. I've already found it.
All according to
Finally.
plan.
And this place is trapped. So many bards. So annoying that you can just walk over your own traps. Here, have a fireball. God dang it, Octavia. What kind of trap did you trigger? Acid fog. God damn it.
You deserved it. Good.
Come run through your own acid fog. Run away!
Repent!
Yes. This is my weapon, repent. Good at making some mashed meatballs for tea. How are you? I'm not doing too bad. I'm finally glad that I'm glad that I found this place. It's one of them where it's like I've got to do this War of the River Kings, and it's like you've got these 3 things that you needed to do, which is find the propagandists, discover why monsters are attacking the kingdom, and find a way to deal with the bandits. And it's like I've spent most of this session wandering around looking for how to deal with the bandits. So now that I've found the bandits, I'm happier for it.
I'm letting you out of our story.
Come on, charge me. Rude.
You forced my hand.
Right, before I forget, switch you back to the sword. And wait until this is over. But yeah, Sivarati's Shadow War with me is in full swing. He's taken to assassinating my people. Nope, don't go through the terrible cloud of terrible. Yeah. We're at the top of a hill. Height makes no difference when we have fireball. Oh, another trap triggered. Just run through it. Run through it. Octavia, do me a favour and get us up that hill, actually. Where's Smega's dimension door? What does dimension door look like again? Mass. Dimension door. Get us up there. Whee! Bet you weren't expecting that, were you?
Any last wishes?
They go down!
It's a way of many TTRB sessions go from time to time. Sit down with dice for free hour and mooch about. Also, your notification of going live has literally only just come through. Is that the Twitch notification for going live?
I'll try to make this swift.
Or is that the Facebook notification that I send you? Because I would like to point out two things. I've not changed this session since I started. So you should know by now. And also, I just hit that one guy 3 times for crits. It's pretty good. And for two, both, you know, Twitch is notorious for being terrible at giving go live notifications until far too late. Yeah, the bard cleric, I did kill him. I'm sorry, these bandits have just been killing random people, and it's like, oh wait, no, I killed him. Right, well, we're stuck up here until that cloud goes away. So I'm not wasting another dimension door just to get down the hill. Let's top everybody up. No personal automation. It's not automated by Twitch. If you've got Twitch installed on a device and you're following me, which I assume you are, you should get a notification by Twitch when I go live. That's not to say that you've not turned off the notifications of the app, because that can be sometimes frustrating if you're following a few people on Twitch, but only occasionally want to pop into their sessions. I know this because, you know, I get, on my tablet at least, sort of like, I'll look at it in the afternoon sometimes and there'll be 20 notifications about people going live, and it's like, I didn't really care about most of this, but at the same token, you know, trying to pay attention to the ones that I want to know about. And it's all like, nah, not gonna tell you about that one. We have the element of surprise. Be surprised, people. Be surprised. See? It's so shocking that it literally got lightning on you. Wata! Yeah, I knew the time you started, just didn't know the time and actual time until I looked at the clock. Wow, you were 2 hours late at looking at the clock? I mean, that's fair enough. I try not to look at the clock too much. When I don't have to. It's just, you know, a lot of the time I have to. Keep pressing the wrong buttons. Oh wow, there's a lot of people around.
Onwards!
It's a bit of a waste of a full attack.
I need to catch my breath.
Right, what this needs is surprise fireball.
And then our leader charged forwards.
Surprise! That was a fireball. Misses attack. How are you not dead? Oh, you're fatigued. God dang it. Oh, hello. You have a name. You must be important. Oof. See, now I don't like slow. Much prefer haste. Haha. Unfortunately, they just perfectly counter each other out, so I don't get the benefits of haste. No more haste from you. No more whatever you were doing. Oh yeah, I've got this spell. Very short firestorm. God dang it.
Stay behind me!
Phone Twitch wigged out, so I missed your clock response. Yeah.
Serves you
Oh well,
right.
if you're here now, that's all that matters. I give, please don't kill me. I'm not interested in dying for Itheretti. Let the cheap creep can get someone else for his Fancy Thieves Guild in here. Let's see how they like this job. Or the way he gets handsy. The bandit wiped blood from her lips and on the back of her hand. I have no grudge against you. Ivareti didn't give me a choice. Had no choice? The favoured excuse for bandits everywhere when faced with the consequences of their sins. Do not believe her, Chiron. She fought bravely and with great skill. Maybe we shouldn't end her. If she attacks us again, then we'll have another good fight. If not, all the better. We'll have a stronger ally. Who are you? My name is Ilora Nuski, the chief of the River Razors, or what's left of us. Between you and Ivareti, the scoundrel found us, pinned us down, and gave us a choice. He could kill us all, or we could take our chances fighting your kingdom. We didn't. We did what he said, of course, or at least gave us a chance. It at least gave us a chance to survive. What was your role in the camp? The usual. Gathered information from scouts, planned our attacks, recruited and trained new members. But fighting a war is way different to day-to-day banditry along the river or highway. Our gang dwindled by the day. Ivareti just wanted us to throw us into this bloodbath so we could damage you as much as possible before dying. Are you saying Ivareti philandered with you? To put it mildly, he hounded me like he has a swarm of wasps in his pants. Last time I was in Pitax, he'd gone crazy, just walking down the palace hallway when I met him. And he was holding this strange wooden sword. I have no idea where he got it from, but he's manic about it now. When he got close, he touched me with the sword, I think by accident, but then he turned immediately and tried to pin me against the wall. I pushed him away and was ready to knock him one, but I stopped myself. He could have had me killed for that. Since getting that wooden stick, he's completely lost his mind. So you're not from the Thieves Guild? No, we have our own gang, good as any. Well, had. Ivareti promised the guild exclusive rights to all orders in Pitax. Not that his word was worth anything. If you did, I assume that you did. If I did what? Yeah, I haven't got any notifications on. Usually just get notified by your message. Mostly everyone else I follow is ad hoc and VODs. Phone Twitch wigged out as per. Or so I missed your clock response. If you did. I assume you did. Yeah, I did. That's a Facebook message though, isn't it? Or it should be. The atrocities you have committed are unforgivable. You obeyed a tyrant's will and brought death and ruin to countless innocents. Prepare to die. Death to the enemies of the kingdom. We'll see who walks out alive. I mean, it's me. Spoiler alert.
Let's try this one.
See? Dex +2, Jesus. You weren't even using proper rogue weapons. Short swords of all things. Alright, let's loot your bodies. Yoink, 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 yoink.
Follow my lead.
Is that a swarm of wasps in your pocket, or are you just pleased to... Oh god, they're stinging, they're stinging. You really do have to look everywhere in this game. Where are you all going? I'm guessing you're fording over here, maybe? Wait, don't attack. I just work here. I wish you no harm. Who are you? Name Zooteran, the alchemist from Veer. Iveretta contracted me to work for Patax. Promised me my own laboratory, access to rare ingredients. The conditions aren't quite what he promised. But it's better than working with an apprentice till my hair goes grey. Do you know how hard it is to save up for your own glassware set? What are you doing here? I mainly make poisons. Don't look at me like that. It's a job. I need to eat too, you know. I'm not killing anyone. The ones using my poisons are to blame. Sometimes I cook up healing potions too. It's just a different recipe to me. I mean, I don't like the fact that chaotic evil is the thing when it's like they're providing poisons to the bad guys. Fine, live, I have to go. A ferocious grin spreads across the woman's face. Ha! We shut down their trap. Bit of advice for future, don't drop your guard in an enemy camp or you might get surrounded. Grab them, fellas! I mean, I know that they're there, I saw them. Why are these people so tiny?
This should do it.
I mean, it makes them annoyingly difficult to hit. Surprise!
You deserved it.
As ambushes go, that wasn't half bad with a myriad of explosions. I mean, yes, I am actually slightly fearful for Lindsay and kind of Amory. You know, a little bit of rage. A little bit of murder, Amory will be fine. Still doesn't explain why everybody's so tiny though. I'm guessing they've had reduced person cast on themselves, but it's not listed anywhere.
A calculated risk. Yeah. This will hurt.
Consider me provoked.
Let us strike as one!
There we go, make everybody a little bit better. And that's the last mistake they ever made. How many NPCs have ever died because they tried to make a ranged attack while somebody was within melee ranged?
My breath.
The bandit camp has been destroyed. Didn't mean to grab that. Right. Time to leave this area. Itchy back. Yeah, I do like it when the ambushes actually mean something. You know, rather than just like, oh, you know, this is an ambush, and you get stabbed once in the back, and it's like, is that it? Is that what we're calling an ambush these days? Oh no, didn't mean to drop that one. Right, now that we've done all that, I think that's the best that I can do for now. Right. Oh god, that's the terrible route.
May we have a moment of respite?
You may when we get... Everybody gets exhausted. See? There we go. Everybody's tired.
Ragangar and you are like two boots that make a pair. Only both are left boots. Ha!
Yeah, that's right. Who else would need us if we didn't need each other?
Let's see what's going on in the kingdom today. Or yesterday. Ah, Lost Worlds Cavalry. The minister closed the deal successfully. The best riders are already taming the new horses. They have no fear in battle and can trample any opponent that gets in their way. Success! You've discovered a way to enter Nerissa's dream. Lindsay and the storyteller are ready to perform the ritual. Heroes remains. Right. Taxian assassins. It's not a great probability, but there we go. And Harren, go deal with that. Right. To Glenshire. Teleport to Loachingdale. Enter Loachingdale. Go to the throne room. Yay, my throne is back. Actually, I should probably go to the market and sell all the stuff that I'm selling just in case it decides to tell me as soon as I go into this dream state that I can't carry everything that I'm currently holding. Yes, that's because it's usually spared amongst a group rather than just me. You'd think that they'd plan that in, but I sometimes wonder. Oh. Right, be prepared for a lot of junk. Apparently the Pataxians carry a lot of rather expensive armor with them. Not very good armor, but armor all the same. I don't really have an illusionist, so they're not useful. Starting to accumulate up. Oh no. Random junk again. Some of these that I'm looking at and it's, oh, that might be useful, and then it's like, no, I never use them. Deal. I reckon I must have gone through 1 million gold in this campaign so far. You'd think I'd have somebody in my throne room where it's like, here, take this, go sell it at the market. Rather than having to go run out to the market myself. Run the risk of getting shanked somewhere along the line. Storyteller, hey, everything is prepared for the dream realm. Dream ritual. I am ready. How unusual. I do not collect a story, but I help create it. Good luck, Your Highness. And may the gods guide your way. It worked. We did it. You know, Lindsay, this is a terrible idea, right? Oh. Getting treated to...
Our sister. Our mistress. Our queen. Our sister. Our mistress. Our queen. Our sister. Our mistress. Our queen. Hail to our queen.
Stop calling me that. In the darkest hours and the brightest days, you simply called me sister. I need no other title. Your songs and laughter accompanied me in my happiest moments. I would rather not shift them to honorifics. The time of my triumph is nigh, sisters. I want to share it with you as I have always shared my secrets, my sorrows, and my joys. Even after I become an eldest, I shall not abandon you. My realm will be the kingdom of spring, love, and life, and you will all be most welcome there.
Be happy, sister. Be victorious, sister.
Wow, we're inside her dream. Maybe we should try talking to her. She may not quite be the real Nyrissa, but that's kind of the point. In her dreams, she can let out the things she would never say in the real world.
Be careful, Nyrissa. You have always been the bravest of us, and none deserve to be an eldest more than you. But these ambitions may come with a steep price.
Perhaps I have always been the bravest, Devindra, but you have always been the grumpiest. We are blessed with eternal life, but we keep living out each day, abiding by rules we had no hand in creating. My plan is daring, you say? Well then, so be it.
I simply pray we do not end up paying a price we cannot bear.
Cheerful voices of nymphs fade away and the vision seems to freeze. A ghostly Narissa stands before you, her eyes seeming to see you without noticing you. What have you done to your sisters, Narissa?
What I did to them is paltry compared with what was done to me. But you cannot understand. No one can. Just go away. Ah!
Well, that seems terrible. Oh, the defaced sisters. Surprise! Curious. It's easy to kill a dream, apparently. You should be careful, dreams are already full of monsters. I dread to think of what we might find in Larissa's head. Oh. That's the Jabberwock.
Finish me! I cannot lose!
What? Can the self-proclaimed queen not fight off a mere animal of the kennel? I come not to kill you. A trial awaits you, trespasser. I shall simply make sure you get there without getting lost along the way.
Finish me, scum! I will not bow my head!
What? Can the self-proclaimed queen not fight off a mere animal of the kennel?
Listen to me, trespasser. You sought a kingdom. I seek something simpler. Hachi.
The Lantern King.
Cursed. As you sought to steal a kingdom for yourself, so must you do again. 1,000 times over. For a theft, a true theft, must be practiced to be earned. It will be a lengthy task. This is how it shall be measured.
Oh. Remember. Do it.
Make ruins of kingdoms. When each is dust, the grains shall gather in this vessel. When 1,000 grains are gathered, bring it before us as an offering, so that an eldest may sip from it.
Ashes. Dust. Eternity.
When that is done, your trespass shall be forgiven.
Where will I find so many nations? It is...
An impossible task? Oh! Let your unrequited love guide you. Guided you to your first kingdom, so it shall again. Seek it, hunt for it, lust for it. Let the emptiness inside you become your deadliest weapon. It is not an impossible task. After all, what use is an apology that cannot ever be given?
Forgiven. Curse. 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 Get ready. Get scared. Learn. Listen.
Listen to me, trespasser. You sought a kingdom. I seek something simpler. Hachi.
Guilt.
Come by me, Lantern King.
In due time.
As you it will be a lengthy task. This is how it shall be measured.
Am I supposed to do something here? Oh, if I can speak to a Narissa now.
Cursed. 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 Did I truly deserve all this?
It breaks my heart to see what this curse turned you into in the end.
So many wish to judge me. For someone who cannot comprehend the burden of the curse, you assume far too much. Burn!
Juke Dazzle Flare. Marquis Dazzle Light. Viscount Smouldering Burn. And Count Glimmer Glow.
Let's try this way. This should do it.
My lady, there's nothing we can do. The powers of those who've hidden the briar exceed our own in many ways.
Why search for that which has ruined me? He said, let your unrequited love guide you to the doomed kingdoms. No, I will not search any longer, but I must find it. Come now, start searching. It must be here in the stolen lands.
My lady, there's nothing we can do. The powers of those who've hidden the briar exceed our own in many ways.
Why search for that which has ruined me? He said, let your unrequited love guide you to the doomed kingdoms. No,
My lady,
I will
there's
not
nothing
search
we
any
can
longer.
do. The powers of
must
those who've hidden the
find
briar
it.
exceed our
All
own.
according to plan.
Come now, start. Why search for that which has ruined me?
Hi.
I told them to stop. No, he told them to search. Let your unrequited love guide. Why do I need this? Do you see now? Do you see? They ripped my heart out and threw it into your world. And something else was torn out with it.
What exactly were you looking for?
Something that was stolen from me. Do you believe the aim of my curse was the destruction of your pathetic kingdoms? No, that was merely a path towards redemption. The curse, it deprived me of a part of my soul. The most important part. Ripped from me, crippled, mutilated, and turned into an artifact. The briar.
Whatever the others did to you, we're each responsible for our own crimes.
Do you enjoy watching my agony? Allow me to see yours in return.
I mean, there's very little that's been painful here.
A calculated risk.
And your dreams are of no consequence.
My Skylark, your song is sad today. What happened? Once young deer have barely grown their antlers, They faced their fathers in fierce combat. Have you ever seen it? The time has come. You are a stag now, not some defenseless fawn. Go. Go and fight. You were born for glory, my wolf cub. There is room in this world for all sorts of different birds. Some sing sweetly, while others screech proudly. But the peacock displays bright feathers to outshine them all. Be my peacock. Shine! You will become a king, whose glory shall overshadow all within the river kingdoms. If you lose, my heart stops along with yours. My skylark, your song is sad today. What happened? Once young deer have barely grown so easily trapped. They face their fathers stags and wolves, combat. Skylarks and peacocks. Have you ever seen it?
Amrag Tristan, the Stag Lord, Israti, all turned against me because of you.
I was there with you from the very first steps you made into the stolen lands. I've created a nice cage of magical fog around you. Sent you my skylark, helped you kill my stag, guided you through dreams and visions. And I pitted my wolf and my peacock against you. Does it not please you, my hound? I gave you so much prey to chase. But what I have done matters little when compared to why I have done it. I have already lost track of so much time. For so many centuries I sought out those like you. The ambitious and bold. Those who believe they can change the world, or at least rule it. I seek them, grant them power, lead them to triumph, and then push them into the abyss.
I shall end this suffering.
Any last wishes?
Die 1,000 deaths!
I mean, I'd rather not.
This is where I step in.
Enemy approaching.
We're coming up, I mean closer. I mean, we're approaching the real Narissa.
One more grain. And another grain. One more grain. And another grain. This one took 100 years to obtain. And that one was just a week. The first bears the blood of 3 generations burned in war. The second, just 2 well-chosen words. And 1 little betrayal. This will never end, never! Do you see this cup? It has a name, you know. The Apology. Within it is the Stag Lord and his crazy dream to become a king and take me as his queen. And Armag and his never-born barbarian empire. Who will fall in next? Pitax and its Peacock King? Or you?
I know your story now, Narissa. Unfortunately, I What I don't know is how to help you overcome the curse.
What is this, a dream? Or is someone actually playing games with me? Speaking words that pierce like arrows, teasing me with the hope of salvation beyond my reach. So, this is a dream. But you have entered it from reality. Exquisite. Very reminiscent of the methods I typically use. For 1,000 years, none have come so close to me. And I assure you, none ever will again. But you... I like you more and more, my hound. Perhaps I have no need of that stupid peacock anymore. I could let you tear him apart if you wish. I know where a tool lies that will let you clip his wings. The evidence of his crimes. Something he's been hiding from his Pataxian allies. But he could not hide it from me. Remember this name, White Rose Abbey. That is where Iravetti would usually meet with me in the past. And the place where you will find your tool against him.
White Rose Abbey. There was a time when this abbey, built by the Kalian worshippers, was a hospitable place and provided the whole region with excellent wine. Nobody knows what brought it to ruin, but it seems to have been abandoned for many years, and even amongst the foulest weather, no traveller dares seek refuge within its crumbling walls. Fine, I'll go. Let us see the worth of your words.
My brave, brave hound. We will get along nicely, I dare say.
As it should be.
Won't let me pass that point. Now we know everything about our enemy, about her past, about the curse and the punishment she suffered, and the artifact called Briar, which Nerissa is so desperately trying to find. This knowledge is invaluable, and it may help us greatly in the coming battle. Explore White Rose Abbey. Nerissa told us that Iravetti is hiding something extremely important in a place called White Rose Abbey. Something we can use as a weapon against him. It's not clear if we can trust this tricky nymph, but perhaps this is a chance we need to ruin our enemy's plans. Alright, fragments, shards. $17 pieces. I've also got 2 of us on the go. I didn't count how many. 6 across. There's nowhere near 17 there. What's the other one? The suppliers of the Patax. Not the Patax, the Technic League. Of which I've got 3 of the artifacts. What's the other thing? Because I know of that one, the melted shard of a ring. Let's see how many that needs. Shard of ring of electric clutch, 12 shards. I'm pretty sure I have 12 shards. I would have 12 shards. I also just remembered the other one is likely to be... I could have sworn that I picked up one of these. Can't remember whether it was the ancient rune-covered scraps. Ancient rune-covered ancient leather scrap. For that I've got 13. 13. What a curious find. Shards of the ring of reckless courage, it would seem. Notice how they bear evidence of melting here and there. Lady Luck favoured the ring's previous owner for quite some time, but when she finally turned her back on him, the consequences were quite grave. If you wish, I can restore the ring to you and tell you its story. 16 fragments. Okay, I've got 13 out of 16. Restore the ring of reckless courage for me. Luck is a fickle partner. You may think yourself her favourite person while she sits and conspires to trick you. I will impart the remnant of my gift within the ring so you may recall its history. May it caution you against recklessness, or perhaps inspire it. The choice, of course, is yours. This is probably going to take us up to time. I do need to be away on time today. The simple steel ring is decorated with a plain pattern along with the inscription, "Fortune favours the brave." The inscription is written in the ancient language of the Empire of Taldor, the predecessor to the modern common tongue. It's unknown whether this artifact was crafted, or by whom, but its last owner was a Taldan treasure hunter who was travelling through the Canelands when a group of like-minded daredevils, while exploring an ancient tomb riddled with traps, he came across a skeleton lying at the bottom of the pitfall, this steel ring on its bony finger. Once he realized it was enchanted, the treasure hunter put his own on his own finger without hesitation. And he didn't regret it. The artifact increased his vigor and confidence, and disabling the traps seemed so easy he could do it with his eyes closed. The deeper his group proceeded into the tomb, the hotter the air became, as though the adventurers were travelling through a giant oven. Ancient runes on the walls gleamed with red light, spurts of flame shot from the floor and ceiling, and fire elementals roamed the passages. More than once did his companions, tired and covered with burns, suggested turning back, taking a break, maybe resting and returning later with reinforcements. But the treasure hunter wouldn't listen. All these difficulties meant there must be real treasure hidden in the depths of the tomb, and he couldn't wait to get his hands on it. When the group entered the burial chamber, the door behind them shut tight. A pillar of flame began dancing around the hall. One of his companions pointed out a crimson crystal, welded into the lid of the sarcophagus. That must be the source of the energy fueling all the traps in the dungeon, he figured. It was possible to approach the sarcophagus carefully, to avoid the roaring flames, and carefully remove the crystal. But our treasure hunter's plan was much more direct. Without thinking twice, he picked up the stone and hurled it into the crystal. The explosion was so strong it must have been heard in Numeria. Where the tomb once was had become a deep crater. The adventurers had instantly turned to ashes, and the shard of the ring was scattered all over the Canelands. It would be 1,000 years before a new devil would find them, restore the artifact, and put their luck to the test. This ring grants a wearer a +4 enhancement bonus to charisma, a +4 competence bonus to stealth and trickery and skill checks, a +4 bonus to attack rolls made to confirm critical hits, and a +2 bonus to the DC of mind-affecting spells cast by the wearer. It imposes a -2 penalty to the wearer's wisdom, a -4 competency penalty to perception skill checks, -2 resistance penalty on will save throws, and -10 to all saving throws against traps. Whenever the wearer receives a critical hit, they become confused for 1d4 rounds. That is interesting. I mean, it's kind of like this, the necklace of double crosses. It's like +4 bonus to things, but their melee attacks against flat-footed opponents deal 2d6 sneak attack damage, while an ally moves away from the wearer in battle. The amulet forces the wearer to make an attack of opportunity against that ally. So all of these artifacts seem to have some positives and, well, some negatives. See, most of these don't do any bonuses to do believe the crown would override. The negative. I wanted to pick up the ring and move it there. God damn it. There we go. I know. Interesting, enhancement bonuses do stack if there's a positive and a negative to them. So a -2 will to will saves, which is not my greatest save in the first place. And a -10 to all saving throws against traps. I don't do perception, do I? Oh, I do perception. Okay, I think that's going to be another one where it's like, cool item, not going to risk using it. And yes, drop off. I've lost it again. So many random bits of junk in here. I'm looking for something that looks like that. It's there. There we go. I'm just going to see if the Abbey is on the map. And if it is, well, good. Then I know at least where to look. Ah, the White Rose Abbey. Nope. God dang it. Teleport to Glenshire. Does Lindsay have mind affecting spells? She is a charisma caster. I mean, I would assume that the headband of alluring charisma overrides it. Yeah, so the charisma isn't a bonus. She casts some mind affecting spells. I don't think I've built... Oh no, she does have trickery and... Thing is, there's no AC bonus on it. So it takes a 3 down on the AC, although that's neither here nor there to a certain degree. She's not got a great perception in the first place, so taking it down by a 4 is... I mean, to a certain degree, she can look at things and forget that they're there, I suppose. With a -2 to perception. The thing is, though, the bonuses to stealth and trickery, I don't really use stealth that much. It's one of them where it's like, I'm curious to see how effective that could be if you actually built a party who had a lot of stealth. And tried sneaking around and getting people into position for sneak attacks. But I find that, you know, with my stealth being the rogue, it just puts me in a very compromising position. Or I'm stowed at the back of the pack in stealth so that I'm not attacked. That doesn't really seem to be a problem for Lindsay. She's rarely the target. So what we're looking at here is... I mean, I could change out to a crown. It's currently alluring charisma +4. I could get a better one for a +6. But at the moment it's +4 competency bonus to stealth and trickery. +4 bonus to attack rolls made to confirm critical hits. That's not really a massive concern of mine. And +2 bonus to DC for mind affecting spells cast by the wearer. The disadvantage is a lesser wisdom. A -4 competency bonus on perception, which doesn't really factor in too much. -2 resistance penalty to will saving throws. She wasn't bad. It's now gone down a little bit. And a -10 on all saving throws against traps. She's very rarely the first person into a trap, so that's neither here nor there. You know, it's one that definitely could be worn by Lindsay. But I'm not seeing enough of the positive to justify you know, if you knew that this ring could be a thing later on in the game, you know, you could try building Octavia up around the ray and mind affecting. You could build Lindsay up around the idea that she's more of a rogue, more of a mind affecting spellcaster. And so when you get this ring, it adds a lot of the bonuses without so much as penalizing for the negatives. I just don't see it being excessively useful right now. Right, I need to get off because I need to go do some shopping, but so that I remember what's going on, we're right by the White Rose Abbey. Let's see what the kingdom's got. Ransoming Gold Orion, success, great stuff. Okay, that was it. Alright, thank you for joining me. This has been session 64 of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Still have no idea how I'm doing on the whole plot side of things. We are going to see if there is anybody worth raiding on another Twitch channel. I will be back on Thursday playing more Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'll be back playing Hitman 3 on Friday evenings. I'll be back next Monday playing Cyberpunk 2077. At some point in the near future, we're going to get a little bit more information on the actual play live stream that I'll be doing. That's starting to progress rather nicely. We are going to go raid a friend of mine. Let's go for Krifu because he's playing some Dishonored, and I quite like that game. But yeah, as for my times, check my schedule below. It's all in there. I also occasionally play on Saturdays with Micah_UK over on his channel. There we go. And yeah, I think that just about covers it all. Alright, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time. Tidy bye.